Hey everyone, good morning. How you doing? I just woke up, just started working. Didn't even put a shirt on yet, and I'm getting so distracted. I keep thinking about this right here, and this is Dylan Monroe's. Damn! I can't turn this over. Let's see here. All right, I'll just have to clip this together. All right, so this is Dylan Monroe's deep state mapping project, and it's got everything you can imagine that has been used to basically lie to us all that aren't in the club. Now, this section right here is the most familiar to me. And this purple section is MK Ultra. So I've gone through some programs since I was a child. I don't know what the name of it is, but it has to do with long-term trauma-based manipulation, or they call it long-term trauma-based mind control. And it's to create dissociative identity disorder or multiple personality disorder in a person, create triggers so they will act out in certain situations when they are triggered. And that takes a lot to research to understand that. So I've gone through this my entire life. So what I want to do is just from my own, from this point, before I research the things on here I don't know about on the purple area, I want to give my own breakdown of this, basically, I guess, just from my own knowledge. And then I'm going to research some of the stuff that I don't know or understand and go back over it. Okay, so Operation Mockingbird. Operation Mockingbird is a CIA operation that basically infiltrated the media on a large scale to create a false narrative to the citizens of the United States and the rest of the world. And billions and billions and trillions, who knows? It's been a lot of money lying to everyone for a long time. There's a lot of lies in there. I talk about CNN a lot, how if you take that logo, that CNN logo right there, take the two sides of that first N off, you get CI. Put a line across that second N, you got a CIA. When it's in cursive, you can see it's CIA at an angle. Anderson Cooper worked for the CIA and helped create these false narratives that so many people have been believing for a long time. Now, right there, it says PSYOPs. PSYOPs, that means a psychological operation. I was in a class with a guy named Chuck DeCaro. You can research Chuck DeCaro, DeCaro, if you would like. And you can research soft war, SOFTWAR, soft war. I was in a class with Mr. DeCaro. Soft war is the use of projecting media to manipulate the enemy's perception. You can go on YouTube and you can look up some of his videos on soft war. I only spent a couple days, but anyway, there's a lot of information in that. And then right after that, my life got real weird. Weirder. The Tavistock Institute, 1946. I've heard this name repeatedly. I should know more about. I don't know what it is, and it's at the very top of this, so I should probably know what that is. So that's something I need to research. Okay, social engineering. Social engineering, what I know, social engineering is basically when the government wants the society as a whole to act in a certain manner to where sovereign citizens, independent people that don't want to, that go along with what the mass glob is doing, get pushed out. That would be, pushed out, executed, put in prison, mental facility, whatever. social engineering, pushing society in a certain direction in a non-organic fashion. Media monopolies. So if just a few companies own the media, all of the major media that goes out to everyone, that all of the people that, the adults, when I was a little kid, have been watching these news channels forever, been reading the newspapers from all these media companies, and they've been getting fed a story their entire life. And when you try to tell somebody that they've been lied to their entire life, it is a tough cookie to crack. That's where cognitive dissonance kicks in, and they just say, no, I don't want to accept that reality. That would hurt too much. I've put so much time and effort into this life believing this that I can't do it. And trust me, it's hard. It's hard. It'll almost break you. But it makes you a better person to finally crack through and understand that we have been lied to for a very long time. All right, Micah Brzezinski, I do not know who that is. Might have something, he's probably a CNN reporter. The New York Times, I don't know what they have to do with MK Ultra, but I do know that when I went to the psychological evaluator and he asked me to produce a mainstream media news piece, the only really mainstream thing I could find on organized stalking and harassment at the time was from the New York Times, and it had a really bad lit photo of this really skinny guy. He looked like he'd just been through hell, and it was a not flattering photo, and then it basically said he was delusional. So that sounds like a hit piece on reality from the New York Times, so they probably have something to do with this. Which now there are plenty of articles out there. I tried to produce the new article in the LA Times actually to that person. Actually, I got a letter in the mail from him a couple days ago. I'm gonna check that out. He's probably suing me or something. But I tried to show him that new article in the LA Times where it showed my commander at my base was removed with other commanders for targeting whistleblowers for retaliation. Said he couldn't help me or wanted to charge me another $5,000 to accept that or something. So, truly just a man for the people, right? Just trying to help society. Reuters, 1851. I don't know what that is. I'm ignorant to some of these things here. This is what you call ignorance. When you just don't know, doesn't mean you're stupid. It means you just don't know. So right now I'm ignorant to knowing what Reuters is. Reuters. I don't even know how to say it. So that's something I'm going to have to look up too. Gannett, 1906. No effing clue. Tenga, 2015. I do not know what that is. AP, Associated Press, 1846. I'm thinking that's... Okay. Okay. Media monopolies. So those are probably... Oh, that's who owns all the media. All right. Totalitarian tiptoe. Manchurian Candidate. Wow, man, that's so. A lot of people that have had triggers installed into them, they've tried to make them a Manchurian Candidate. Now, Barack Obama, Barry Soetoro, is probably one of the worst Manchurian candidates in history. And history will show that. And he might have gone through this, not might have, I'm pretty sure most people that end up way up there have gone through some kind of trauma-based mind control through these systems because they want to have complete control of the people, Okay, I'm going down this side here. I'm going to go back up to the top. Hegelian dialect. Now, I was on Crowdsource the Truth with Jason Goodman. And we were talking about, let's see, I was either on the show or we were just on the phone talking. And I explained to him that when they started explaining the problem, reaction, solution paradigm, as far as like a lot of the false flags that we have, hoaxes and stuff like that, oh God, I just hit a cognitive block here. Sorry, folks. Let me regain my... Okay, so when I learned about the problem, reaction, solution paradigm and how it was utilized in intel agencies to create trauma and fear in society, it helped me understand what my mom had done in my life, where she had pretended to be the perfect mom, but underneath was constantly attacking me, tried to stole my business, tried to steal my house, and it's always in the name of helping you, or I'm trying to do this, but then it somehow everything ends up with them, or it's you just got to look up covert narcissism. Just research that. I can't explain that whole thing right there. Covert and overt narcissism. But this is how I was raised, basically, with the Hegelian dialect, problem, reaction, solution, paradigm. And, this is used widely throughout the government. Guess who my mom worked for basically her entire career? The government, IRS, U.S. Forest Service, Federal Aviation Administration, not in that order. All right. Okay, dissociative identity disorder. That is from long-term trauma-based manipulation and mind control. Eventually, a person that is completely confused and disoriented and gaslit and put down and lied to. I go on and on and on and on and on. All the things that happen to a person during long-term trauma-based mind control can create dissociative identity disorder, or otherwise known as multiple personality disorder. I just watched a movie called Split. I was talking to some friends over here at this little restaurant I go to, and they were like, we talked about dissociative identity disorder, and they said, oh, you got to see this movie Split, because I told them this is what I've been through, what I'm going through. And the lady looked at me like, oh my God. And I went and watched the movie, and then the guy literally turns into a third grader and a Nazi janitor, and then a woman and a bunch of that. As far as I know, that hasn't happened to me. I'm Mike all the time. I'm irritated that I've been through this, but I think my brain's been strong enough to really fight off a lot of the really, really out of control stuff that they try to get, a targeted individual that's going through long-term trauma-based mind control manipulation to turn into. And there's a lot of examples I could talk about right now, stars, celebrities, that I'm almost positive. It's like it takes one to know one, and then once you go through this and you learn what you've been through, it's like being in the military for 15 years, and you can look through a crowd and you can pretty much pick out almost anyone that's been in the military. That cared about being in the military. Almost. It's a little different now, but just by the way they carry themselves, their eye contact, their demeanor, their stuff like that. That's the same thing. When you see somebody that's going through this, you can just see them. It's like radar. I don't know. It just happens. So ritual abuse. Ritual abuse sometimes is in a literal ritual setting where they take the child into some kind of room and put them through an actual ritual. Some of you have probably heard about some of these. I don't have any clear memories of anything like that. The ritual abuse that I know of is this long-term trauma-based mind control. And you have to go back and listen to some of my videos talking about some of these incidents that happen repeatedly throughout your entire life, and it's intentional. It's very costly for them to do this, but it's people with a lot of money, a lot of power, and people that can do anything they want, well, for a certain amount of time, can do this. Kathy O'Brien was she was a victim of Hillary Clinton, mostly Hillary Clinton. She said sometimes Bill, other politicians. Okay, so alters. Alters are the different personalities that they can create in you. So in some cases, I've heard that there can be altars put into a person, basically installed into a person psychologically over decades. The person is unaware that this is happening to them. And say if whatever the trigger word is that has been used on that person throughout their entire life, they can use that word and basically turn that person into another person without them knowing it and control them. And, so I don't know, I've never woken up during something like this or woken up in a strange place or anything like that would make me believe that something like that happened to me, where I, got out of bed in the middle of the night and I went and, was like Manchurian Candidate. I don't think anything like that's ever happened. But that's why they installed these altars. One of the reasons they install the altars to, like say a powerful preacher. They want the preacher to fully believe that he loves Jesus and that he's going to save everybody, but then his altar, he doesn't even know he has, might be, he goes to these like satanic rituals or something like that. Now I've heard a survivor talk about this practice, and that's, all right, okay. LSD 25, they drug you. Prozac, I've never been put on Prozac. They've tried to. My ex was on Prozac. Actually, it was called Effexor. Benzo is some kind of drug. Triggers, triggers, handlers. Triggers, right there, I just explained what triggers are. Triggers are the things they take forever to install into you to get you to act in a certain manner. Handlers, these are the worst people. I think I've met several of the handlers, maybe one of my main handlers. And he actually lived in Barcelona, Italy, and he was visiting Norman, Oklahoma. And he was writing out some strategies, actually. And I tried to inquire what the strategies were, and he was had the narcissistic smirk on his face, real smug. And it was a friend's dad, so I don't want to be an asshole in their house. You're on their turf, And, but I'm pretty sure he was working on some strategies for me and possibly some other targeted individuals. So trauma-based mind control, I've just explained that whole bunch my entire life. That's my life. They do things like, I'll just give a couple examples. Say the night of your wedding, you had a great day, you're on your way to your hotel, they want to ruin the day, they will park a car in the middle of the road with its lights off, pretending they're broken down. There's no other traffic on the entire road. And then the person you're with could possibly try to get your attention because they might be a perp honey trap with you. It's been sent to you right when you get to the car, and then you plow into the back of it. And then your wife goes to the hospital. Your brand new wife, goes to the emergency room that night. And even though you haven't drank anything, you get checked for DUI for like 45 minutes, an hour before they let you go to see if your wife and your baby are okay. That's just one small example. So things like that, staged accidents, people being killed that you love, people dying on specific dates, like my ex-wife dying on my birthday. The first call I got, morning of my birthday. All right, those are just two I've lost count. It's been something always over and over. It's long-term trauma-based mind control. Deep-patterning and psychic driving. Deep-patterning, I think that's what I'm trying to do right now, is trying to get through and deprogram myself. But I don't know, I'm going to research that. So deep-patterning and psychic driving. Kathy O'Brien. Okay, so there's Kathy O'Brien right there. That research Kathy O'Brien. Bryce Taylor, I don't know if that is the person that helped her, the CIA agent that helped her get out of it. But I'll research Bryce Taylor also. Project Monarch, Voice to Skull, V2K. So Project Monarch has to do with this whole thing. A lot of the people that have been around me have had like monarch butterfly tattoos, monarch butterfly posters. They're always using symbolism to let you know what they've done. And sometimes they'll get symbolism on you. They'll suggest something. Hey, you should get this or that. You have no idea what it means. And you're just like, yeah, cool. That sounds neat. And then later you find out what it is and you're like, oh, okay. All right, I was marked. Lee Harvey Oswald was a patsy. I think we've pretty much, this has been proven to us by now. Lone wolf gunman, Sirhan. This all has to do with John F. Kennedy's assassination. Martin Luther King murdered. Martin Luther King was under COINTELPRO. That's how they got sex tapes of him. They knew everything about him, and they could completely manage and manipulate his life through COINTELPRO. And then eventually murdered him. Charles Manson, OTO, Solar Lodge, 1969, Helter Skelter, Beta Sex Kittens. Okay, so Beta Sex Kittens, I believe some of these are the honey traps that I've talked about, where they are basically raised from birth to be a honey trap, to serve powerful people when they are wanted, and then when they are not wanted, they are sent out to be honey traps and infiltrate people's lives to carry out this program, whatever the name of it is now, these multiple programs. Jonestown Kool-Aid, I believe is that when everybody drank the Kool-Aid? Is it the Hale-Bopp Comet? No, that's, I'll look that one up, Kool-Aid. It makes me think of the Hale-Bopp Comet. Everybody had to drink the Kool-Aid and then go to space. And then, maybe they actually drank some DMT or something like that. Okay, the iPad got full. I need to move stuff out of the iPad. So now I'm on my iPhone, and we left off on this race wars. Yes, they are trying to divide everyone. I've been talking about this with a lot of people. It's kind of diverse around here, mostly Hispanic, a lot of African American people, white people in my general vicinity, and I talk about this with a lot of people here. O.J. Simpson, 1993. I still think, see right here, I've said that O.J. was innocent for quite a while after I've learned about this program. Not because I want to protect murderers. See, as soon as you say somebody's innocent, that was proven guilty in the court of law, after you learn about lawfare and all of this type of stuff, you start to wonder who's been set up, who actually, this went through the LAPD of, OJ. After enough evidence comes out, I believe that O.J. Simpson will be exonerated. I'm pretty sure he was targeted. He could have been one of the, he was illiterate. He had a hard time reading. He had to have people read his contracts for him. He was easily manipulable. I don't even know. You know what I mean. He was easy to manipulate. And I believe they did fully. And, or he might have realized that his wife was a honey trap and she was gaslighting and doing all this stuff to ruin his life. And he snapped. Once you learn what really happened in this, I can't even explain it. The thoughts that go through your head once you realize your entire life was this. I'm cool now. I'm tough. Figured out. Ruby Ridge, 1992. I don't remember what that is. I've heard it a million times. I need to research that so I'm more familiar. Gun grab, Second Amendment. This is what happened to me. I was talking about the Second Amendment always. I am a huge Second Amendment advocate. The United States is the way it is because of firearms. They defeat tyranny. There's a firearm behind every blade of grass in the United States. I was set up for a crime after going through all this and realizing it and starting to report on it, just a few months later, as soon as I start reporting on this whole thing, a few months later, boom, I'm arrested. Actually, 3 weeks later, after reporting this whole situation to a police officer, I was arrested. Thankfully, I got video of the hate crime that was carried out on me. I've talked plenty about that in my other videos. Go back and check it out. They're trying to put me in prison right now because I'm talking about this. Waco, Texas. I think everybody knows what happened in Waco, Texas. 1993 child sacrifice. I don't know what that is. I mean, I know what child sacrifice is, that happens, but I don't know about that particular incident. Columbine massacre. That's the school shooting, Columbine, that everybody's getting kicked off the internet for saying that it was a not fake, because I believe people died, but I do believe that it was intentional. And those children that died need to be vindicated. Or if they didn't, and they were trafficked somewhere, and they said they died, then they need to be found. Crisis actors, war games, exercise drills, hoax disasters. So this is street theater right here, folks. Crisis actors, these people that are out, gang stalkers, stalking, harassing, setting up accidents to create trauma in society, to get federal funding to keep doing this. This is gang stalking. Organized stalking and harassment. That's it right there. Crisis actors. LARPs, live action role players. Okay? I talk about that in almost every one of my other videos, so I'm going to keep going on this, but that's pretty much what every video of mine is about. Dark Knight Shootout. Was in a movie theater, I believe. Sandy Hook. I think I'm running out of video here, so I'm trying to hurry. Dark Knight Shootout, Sandy Hook, nobody died. 2012, Boston Marathon. 2013, Bataclan Bloodbath. Friday the 13th, November 2015. Bastille Day. Lori Rampage. I don't know what a lot of this is here. G4S. Pulse Nightclub. I heard about that. That was shooting 50 perverts. Charlottesville, Unite the Right. Manchester Arena. Dangerous Woman. I'm going to have to research some of this here. Las Vegas Pyramid Sacrifice. Okay, so I was invited to Las Vegas this weekend by an old friend that I hadn't talked to in a long time. Called me up and he was so excited. Hey man, you got to go to Vegas. He said, I'm broke and I'm going through some weird stuff right now. I probably shouldn't go anywhere, especially to Vegas. Especially to Vegas. Some of you might have heard me talk about the time my niece disappeared in Vegas and ended up dying in a single car accident where she was burned beyond recognition. So back to this invite to Las Vegas this week. This guy offered to pay for me, offered to pay for my hotel. I can't remember. I don't think he even said where we were staying. I'm willing to bet that if I would have taken that free trip that weekend, I would have been, but they probably would have been arrested for being one of the people involved in this. Well, and it was at a what's his name? Jason Aldean, country singer. I would have went to that concert for sure if I was there. You know, chilling on a back road. That song. And that was such a coincidence. All right, Jack and Ace. I don't know what that is. Route 91. Harvest Ritual, CIA Smuggler, Tropicana Hotel, 32nd floor, Luxor. Okay, so that has to do with the Vegas shooting right here. CIA Smuggler, Harvest Ritual, Harvest. That's the name of the dispensary that I go to down the street. Harvest Dispensary. Well, I'm probably not going to go there for a while. I'm running low on money, so I'm just going to have to deal with this on my own, but cannabis definitely does help when you go through this. And some of this other stuff too. So anyway, everybody check this map out. It's really great. Deep State Mapping Project. You know, John F. Kennedy and Marilyn Monroe had a thing a long time ago. QAnon talks about JFK Jr., the guy that made this map. His name is Dylan Monroe, like Marilyn Monroe. There's a lot of things that are connecting here that I'm kind of liking. And hopefully the future is going to be better. All right, everyone. I don't even know if you can see me here, but thanks for listening to me talk about this. I could do better videos. I was a journalist in the Air Force. I don't have time. I'm just trying to get the information out. The information is the important part right now, not how pretty it is. So thank you again for listening. Please research this, spread the word, and help me survive. That would be nice. I'd appreciate it. Thank you.